So good evening, YouTube. I'm actually on time for a change, bang on 5 o'clock. So yeah, I hope you're all grateful. But we're going to talk about Shkodran Mustafi, amongst other things. But we'll start off with Mustafi. Now he's changed to SBE Management, which is a new agency that he's signed up to. And he's not the only player in this window that's actually signed up to a new agency. Wilfried Zaha's done the same. A lot of other players that I'm not going to bother listing have done exactly the same thing. So I don't understand why so many players are suddenly changing their agent. But this could mean that he is on his way out. Now, he's hardly featured this season. When he has featured, I think he's actually played fairly well, if I'm being honest. Yes, we all know he's not a great centre-back. We know he's not very good at all, if we're being honest. He's pretty bang average, let's be real. But he has changed agencies, which would maybe seem like he's looking to get a better deal somewhere else. Obviously, the agent he's with couldn't strike him a deal in the summer that he was happy with or the club were happy with. He actually come out and said in a press conference for, I think it was a Europa League game, that he was looking to go. He did have an offer on the table, but the offer wasn't suitable for him or for the football club. So he decided to stay. Now, if we let him go past this transfer window and he's still here, he then runs down into the last year of his contract as soon as it kicks in July. I think it's July the 1st or July the 31st, one of them. He then kicks into the last year of his contract. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he is on his way out. And hopefully that will be in this window. I don't want to see him here come next season. If we can get 10 million quid for him, I'll be over the moon. In fact, actually, I'll rephrase that. If we can get 10 quid for him, I'll be over the moon. But it just seems a little bit weird that he's changed his agent. And I thought, let's do a stream about it. Let's see what you guys think. Like I said, he's not the only player in the Premier League who's gone with a new agent. Wilfried Zaha's gone with Pini Zahavi, the super agent. Apparently, he's in talks with Bayern Munich. I'm not quite sure how that works, but there we go. And Mustafi's done likewise and followed suit. Now, Mustafi, obviously, we signed him for 35 million quid. Absolute waste of money. We've then paid him £75,000 sterling every single week since he's been here. So when you add that all together, it's about 50 million quid we've invested in Shkodran Mustafi. Adding to that, his agent probably got a little kickback out of that. So let's say another £1 million, £51 million for Mustafi. Even in today's market, that is an absolute liberty. And we need to get rid of him. He ain't going to feature. I don't think he's good enough to play for Arsenal. Yes, this season he's been a lot better than he has been in recent seasons, but he's hardly featured. And I don't see that being changed anytime soon. I don't think Mikel Arteta is going to sit there and go, well, actually, he's the saviour. Even with our defensive crisis at the moment, we've got Socrates, we've got David Luiz, Rob Holding's come back, although he didn't look great the other night. But it's his first game back after a second injury in quick succession. So we've got 3 centre-backs there that can maybe get us through the rest of the season. If we go into the transfer market and go and buy another one, or even loan another one, maybe as a little stopgap until we get William Saliba in the summer. But then on the other side of that, Socrates is going to be going into the last year of his contract. David Luiz will be going into the last year of the contract. So there's another 2 we've got to get rid of very soon. And there's other players as well. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Mesut Ozil. You know, they're all going down into the last knock-ins of their contracts. And we've got a massive job on in the next couple of transfer windows to overturn and overhaul these players or strap them up to new deals, depending on who they are. Mustafi, ain't no way he's getting a new deal. I'm not sure where he would be going. I haven't seen him linked to any clubs recently. Earlier, or back end of last year, he was linked to Inter Milan, AC Milan. So I don't know whether that's something that could still happen. But yeah, it's looking like he's about to move. The fact he's changed agent would, for me, or anyway, I don't know about you guys, I'll come to your comments in a minute, but for me, that would suggest that he didn't like the agent that he had. The agent that he had couldn't get him the deal that he wanted in the summer window, hence why he stayed. So now maybe he's gone, do you know what, let me bin him off because he's doing a crap job again this window. I'm going to go and get a different agent and I'm going to try and get myself out of the club. Now, if that's the case, fantastic. See you later, mate. Bye. Thanks for nothing and see you later. Monaco, yes, Monaco were interested, Avamon. Thank you for that. I remember that actually. It was a load of Arsenal fans on his Instagram post posing as Monaco fans, saying, "We'd love you. Come to us." Not quite sure that was called for, but there you go. But I do think he is going to leave in this window. I don't know why I think that. I just think he will go. Hopefully, Mikel Arteta has sat him down and said, "Listen, you're not part of my plans, mate. So go and seek another club somewhere else." And if that is the case, now we've just got to try and get something for him in terms of a transfer fee. The 75 grand a week will come off the wage bill. Obviously, we could then go and invest that into something else, maybe another centre back, maybe a midfielder. Like I said, there's a lot of players that are coming down to the final year of their contract. And this window and the summer window are going to be massive. And the thing with the summer window is there's a Euros on. And we know that every summer window, regardless, everyone just leaves everything till the last couple of weeks. But now there's a Euros on, it's going to be even harder to get rid of players in the early part of the transfer window. Obviously, the Euros is split over so many countries this time round as well, so it's not going to be easy to get rid of players in the summer. So maybe now would be a little bit easier to get rid of some of the deadwood like Mustafi. A couple of players going out on loan, perhaps. Smith Rowe's linked with a move on loan to Huddersfield. Eddie Nketiah's linked to Sheffield Wednesday, Bristol City and Nottingham Forest. So maybe it's time to get rid of some of these players on loan or whether just to ship them out. For me personally, just sell Mustafi. Even if it's 50 quid, just get rid of him. 10 quid, whatever they want to offer. In fact, we'll just pay for the flight over there. See you later, bruv. I don't want to see him here any longer. Like, I've got nothing against him personally. I don't know him. But as a footballer, he ain't good enough. And he ain't good enough to where we want to get to. So he's got to go. And I hope and pray that the fact he's signed up with a new agent is why, or something that he is going to happen, that he is actually going to leave, because he ain't going to get any games. Yes, he can fill in the Europa League and stuff like that. That's fantastic. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, at the end of the day, he's gone from being a first teamer in the Premier League to you might get a game in the Europa League if you're lucky. Well, sorry, 75 grand a week, mate. Not needed. You're surplus to requirements. Go and find another club and find it pretty sharpish because there's 23 days left of the transfer window. But anyway, listen, 240 people watching this live. Do drive the likes up and let's go through some of your comments and questions. I'm going to do this for about another 10, 15 minutes. So I'm going to get myself out of here. Just gents, afternoon to you, buddy. Upper Meccano and Aki for a combined 100 million. That is what big clubs do. Well, we haven't acted like a big club for about 12 years, mate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get either of them. Hopefully a change of agent means he will leave. Evening, Omar. Who would buy him? Well, that's a very good question, mate. Who would buy him? I don't know. I genuinely don't have any idea who would want Mustafi. Leroy says, when you moving back to Spain? Well, I already moved to Spain. I'm just here on the holiday. And funny enough, this is my last night in England. So I'm going back tomorrow afternoon. My flight's at 1:30 in the afternoon. And I'll be back in Spain tomorrow. So can't wait to go back, if I'm honest. The weather is dead. It's hammering down with rain outside. It's freezing cold. And yeah, I need some sun on my back. I'm too skinny for this cold weather, man. We've gone from Tony Adams to Mustafi. And my light's died. This light, I swear, I charged this light all night. And now it's died. So back to dead stream again. But there we go. Let's continue on as if nothing happened. He's going for more than Eriksen is going for 2 bags apiece. Eriksen's actually a free signing as well, isn't he, in the summer? So yeah, listen, Eriksen's a good player, man. Eriksen's I like Eriksen. I've always rated him. Even though he plays for that lot, I think he's a quality player. Your choice of Aki or Upper Meccano. Love you, bro. Thank you, Hugh. I'd take either if I'm honest. Like, Aki's got the experience of playing in the league. But at the same time, Upper Meccano is, don't know, he's the better of the two in my opinion. But I'll take either. I'll take them both. Just bring them both in. Just get the pair of them and move on with 2 proper centre backs. None of this poncing around with Mustafis and Socrateses and Louises. Let's go for some proper centre backs. Start acting like a big club and start buying some proper players. Louis Van Gaal, evening to you. Buy Dunk for 20 mil. There's another player. That's another one I'd definitely take at Arsenal. Why do fans say that you haven't been to games, you get slated. Do you know what it is, Jack? Yeah, a lot of people have this elitism, yeah, where they think that if people don't go to games, they're not proper football fans. Well, that's a load of crap. Let's say you live in Australia, well, you fly in 24 hours to come and watch a game. Not only that, it's going to cost you an absolute fortune, isn't it? Same with anywhere. And people were just lucky that they were born in and around the ground. Well, not in the ground, obviously, but around the stadium, local areas, or have a train system or a car that can get into the games. Not many people can do that. But then people crack on, man. At the end of the day, the reason we're buying out £72 million record signings is because we're a global football club. If we weren't a global football club, we'd probably be in League Two. So there we go. Have you heard about Nketiah? The last I heard about Nketiah, he was linked to 3 clubs. Tell me, man, talk to me. How's your Spanish coming along, says Eugene. I haven't really done any, if I'm being honest, mate. I'm not going to sit and pretend. But no, when I get back to Spain, fully on it, man. I downloaded a really good app. So you have to pay for it, but I'm going to get on it. I want to get on it. I want to learn Spanish properly. I want to be fluent in it. So yeah, man. Big up, Dante. I hope you're good. Evening to you, mate. You should invest in a new camera. That's something I'm looking to do, man. Listen, that light, in fact, it's not so much the camera, it's the lighting. That's the issue. I've got a light sat in front of me and it just dies after 10 minutes every time. I don't know why. Charged it all night, fully charged, sat it up there. It's perfect. The lighting was all right. But it's the lighting more than the camera, mate. When I've got decent lighting, the camera on this Mac's not too bad. But a camera is something I am going to look at, definitely. I've got a couple in my basket. So yeah, we'll come back to that as and when. But that is something definitely that's going to happen. Galatasaray are in for Mustafi. Yes, I will have a San Miguel to that one, baby. But yeah, I will be back in Spain tomorrow. I land about 5:20, 5:30, something like that. So I might do the 5 o'clock UK time stream from Malaga Airport before I get myself back to where I'm going, and then the 9 o'clock stream will be as normal. And daily transfer updates will be scheduled back in for 7 a.m. That'll be starting again. Well, it started yesterday at 7 a.m. Since I've been here, obviously I've been out doing stuff. I've been seeing friends, family, stuff like that. So I've been doing them the next day or on the day rather than doing them the night before and scheduling them in. If there's news and I can do them the night before, I do them the night before. If there ain't and it's the same old stuff that I've spoken about, then I tend to leave it until the next day. But there's plenty to talk about for tomorrow. So as soon as I come off of this, I'm doing tomorrow's one. And I'll stick that in there for 7 a.m. And then when I get back to Spain, then obviously the longer the transfer window goes on in January, the more we're linked to people. So that'll be back as normal from 7 a.m. Soon as I get back. Our midfield is worse than United's, and they're in for Donny van der Beek. This board for F's sake. Says Krish. Well, this is the thing, Krish, right? They were in for, who was the lad they were in? Bruno Fernandes. Goldbridge, I remember watching Goldbridge going, I reckon he's coming, it's happening. But the thing is, with transfer deals, right, we could be linked to, or United, let's say United, let's use them as the example, seeing as you brought them up, yeah? They could be linked with Van der Beek. That could go all the way through to the last couple of days of the window, and then it doesn't happen, and that's just sometimes how it goes. Then there's other ones that we don't know anything about that are not leaked out to anybody. And then all of a sudden, bang, we've signed a player, or Man United have signed a player. So it's difficult, man. Like, just because they're linked to a player doesn't mean that we're not going to get players. But at the same time, Man United are a bigger football club than us, with a bigger budget than us, with a bigger pulling power, even though they are crap right now. So are we. But it's still Man United. They're still one of the biggest clubs in world football. So they've got a bigger pulling power, which means that somebody like Donny van der Beek might go, actually, yeah, well, I will go there, But at the same time, they're not the Man United they used to be. Champions League football, for some reason, seems to be the be-all and end-all for a lot of these footballers nowadays. Maybe that's because they can get a higher wage because the team are in the Champions League rather than Europa League. But the reality is there's only a handful of teams maximum that can win the Champions League every year, and Man United ain't one of them. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. Did you watch the United City game? I watched a bit of it. Yeah, I did. Mate, Man City were just taking liberties, weren't they? They weren't even trying. especially first half. And Nketiah's in talks with Forest. Lovely, lovely jubbly. That'll be a good move for him. Werner can replace Aubameyang. Well, I said that. I said that as well, mate. I think he can. I don't think he's as good as Aubameyang. I don't think he's as good as people rate him. But he is a very good player, Werner, and he's young as well. So watch him from Kampala in Uganda. Big up yourself. What's trending? Thank you for that, mate. Do you think Arteta has the pulling power? Says Pork Chop Express. Some of your names are hilarious, man. That's a very good question as well. Has he got the pulling power? I don't know. Well, I suppose we're about to find out, really, aren't we? Listen, the fact that he's played for Arsenal, he's worked under Arsene Wenger, he's worked under Pep Guardiola. It's Arsenal, it's London. I don't know. Maybe that's enough pulling power. I don't know. We'll see. Depends what type of players we think we should buy and what type of players the club think we should buy, and then whether them players want to come to the club. It's hard. The thing is, people can laugh at Jose Mourinho all they like and say he's finished and whatever. That's cool. That's your opinion on that. He has pulling power. Yeah, and I would not be surprised if they pull out a big signing. I would not be surprised one bit, because people want to play for Jose. It's like Arsene Wenger when he was here. The amount of players we signed that said they signed because of Arsene Wenger. I'd imagine Tottenham are going to have that now. I mean, Alderweireld's just signed a new deal, isn't he? He's staying for another couple of years or whatever. For the last 18 months, all the talk's been he's leaving. Jose rocks up inside a week, bang, he signs a new deal. And that is when you've got an elite manager. Oh, well, I think he's an elite manager, or a has-been manager, like some of you guys think. He's still got that pulling power. Has Arteta got that? We're about to find out. I hope he has, because we need some major surgery in that team. And we need some big, big players in that team that can come in and just hit the ground running and get us back to where we should be. Are you happy that Eddie's going Forest? Yeah, I'm buzzing, man. He ain't good enough for Arsenal right now. So get him out there, get him developed, get him out there for another 6 months or whatever that it'll be. Get him playing week in, week out. And hopefully he comes back a lot better. Listen, when he was at Leeds United, he was scoring goals. I don't get why they weren't playing him. The local bar around the corner from my gaff in Spain, there was a guy in there, English bloke. I was just chatting away to him one evening, and he was a Leeds fan. He said he absolutely loved Eddie Nketiah. He said he don't understand why Bielsa don't play him. He said he should be starting every week. But the one thing I'll say about Eddie is he's quite small, isn't he? So he can't hold the ball up as well as the other striker they've got, who's Patrick Bamford, isn't it? He can't hold the ball up as well as him. But in and around the box, Eddie's a live wire, man. That kid's so good in and around the box. But Bamford's a very good player as well. It's a tough one, isn't it? And the way they play, they don't normally play with two strikers. So I can kind of get it. But the thing is, they have only really got Bamford now. So they've snookered themselves, haven't they? So pretty stupid of them, really. Valencia laughing at us for Mustafi, says Sudaka. Yeah, they've had a result with the money we've spent, mate. Smith Rowe the next Zidane. I don't know about that, Jonathan. I think he needs to go out on loan. He is actually linked with Huddersfield. So, morning, Lee, looking good. Thank you, David. I looked better when my light was working. You could have seen me properly, but there we go. Have you checked out Hot Mic? What's Hot Mic, Ackerman? What's that? What's Hot Mic? I don't know what that is. Fill me in, mate. Thoughts on Hakim Ziyech? Wicked player, man. Don't understand why nobody went in for him. Can Mustafi take Ozil with him in his rucksack, says Joanne. Evening to you, darling. Hope you're good. Well, that would be nice. He could take Kolasinac. He could take Xhaka with him as well. Maybe pay for a couple of bags, like a couple of hold bags, and off you go. Do you think that since Arteta has come in, you have been negative? Do you think that since Arteta has come in, you have been too negative, and now you have to admit you are wrong and lick his nuts? What, based on 4 games? Are you mad? Like, genuinely, is that a real question you're asking me, or are you just on a wind-up? Because if that's a real question, bruv, wow, I'm baffed. What, after 4 games, you're asking me that question? Wow. It's like, I've seen a lot of people, I said this last night on last night's stream, I've seen a lot of people saying because Jose's lost a few games at Tottenham, he's washed up, he's finished, he's done. What, based on a few games? They're still above us and they started behind us. So same with Ancelotti. He's washed up, apparently. well, listen, they're 2 points behind us, and if we don't beat Palace at the weekend, they'll be above us. So he won his first 2 games. We've won 2 out of 4. Arteta's doing all right, but listen, I ain't that reactionary, man. I am nowhere near that reactionary. You know, I've had a lot of people say that to me. Oh, you've got to eat your words on Mesut Ozil now. Really? What, 3 years worth of crap, and what, after 2 games suddenly he's the best thing since sliced bread again? Nah, not for me, man. Not for me. I'm not reactionary like that. I sit back, I wait, I see, and I assess things properly rather than jumping on a bandwagon and the hype train. Because Arsenal fans, they never learn. They never learn. We've got our Arsenal back. Everyone was singing after the Fulham 5-1. 22 unbeaten. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And we all know what happened there. So yeah. Xhaka has been good lately, so we have to trust the manager. Xhaka has been pretty good recently, which bodes the question, where's he been for 3 years? Viraj says Bruno Guilherme, I pronounced that wrong probably, from Brazil, is a good DM. We've been linked to him twice this window and January, so I don't know. I don't know whether he's any good or not. I've never seen him play, mate, so I'll take your word for it. Jack says Messi or Ronaldo. Messi all day long, bruv. Love watching Messi. I've actually seen them both live as well, but they're both quality, man. Do you know the one thing I'll say about Ronaldo? Yeah, Messi's got the natural talent. Ronaldo's had to graft for it, because he ain't as naturally good as Messi. But the one thing is that I'd say, without Ronaldo, Messi wouldn't be as good as he is. And without Messi, Ronaldo wouldn't have got to the level and be as good as he is. So I'm just happy I've seen them both, man. Although saying that, when I did see Messi, he actually didn't play that well. It was Xavi that was unbelievable that night. What a player he was. But yeah, I'm just happy I've seen them both, man. Chances of winning Europa League, says Matrez. Well, we're in it, so we've got a chance, man. We've got more of a chance of winning that than the Champions League or getting in the top 4, haven't we? So yeah, we have a chance. NS says, so that guy's been licking Arteta's nuts. Thomas the Tank has been pretty good under Arteta as well. He has. He looked like a new left back the other night, didn't he? What's going on with him? I don't know, man. But this is the thing, right? This is why I'm not going to jump on the reactionary bandwagon that seems to be in full flow on social media sites. Yeah, it's like we've won 2 games in a row. We've kept 2 clean sheets. Fantastic. That is an improvement. Fantastic. But we also went 22 games unbeaten under Unai Emery, and look what happened since. So I'm not gonna make that mistake of going, oh, we're back, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I ain't doing that. I'm just gonna sit back, I'm gonna see what happens, see where we finish at the end of the season, and then next season is where I'll judge Arteta. Yeah, because he then has a window to summer window, excuse me, to go and get the players he wants. Yes, he can do that in January, he can do it in the summer, but then he's got the whole season ahead. And come Christmas time, this year, so December this year, then he's had a whole year. That is when he'll be judged. That's when I'll sit there and go, cool. Unless it's gone so wonky and so sideways that we're still as crap as we are now. And then we can sit there and say, well, it ain't really worked, is it? But in terms of upturn, the only upturn for me is getting in that top 4. That's an improvement. Because let's be real, the squad shouldn't be sat 10th. He's come in, he's got the work rate up, which is a bonus. He battered them at half-time the other day and got a reaction out of them, which is also a good thing, because they could have gone out there and gone, yeah, bollocks, mate, see ya, then we'll do what we want. But they didn't. They went out there and they grafted for him. So there's 2 positives. He's got some of the players playing better than they've played for years. There's another positive. But at the same time, we've played the worst Man United team that I've seen in my life. We scraped past Leeds United. Let's be real. It was a game of 2 halves. They should have been 3-0 up at half-time. We should have been 3-0 up second half. So I think a draw probably would have been fair, but who cares? We were through. Against Chelsea, we were unlucky. And against Bournemouth, I ain't celebrating a draw against Bournemouth. And a lot of fans got giddy after that game. Oh, look at us. We're fantastic. Well, no, we're celebrating a draw against Bournemouth. So, yes, there's some improvements, 100%. But at the same time, I said this on the stream I did last night. It's not so much Arteta, it's the players. The players are the biggest issue. Yeah, for me, some of these players have took liberties for too long. And just because they've put in a couple of good performances doesn't mean that all is forgiven. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden that I have to eat my words. Granit Xhaka has been good since he threw the armband on the floor. Don't mean he's going to be good in 6 weeks' time, or 10 weeks' time, or 6 months' time. Hopefully he won't be here by then. Mesut Ozil done his usual disappearing act against Leeds after 2 good performances. Then I've seen people going off on one. Oh, he was fantastic second half. We actually weren't, was he? You know, so very reactionary. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon until I've seen more than 4 games. Hope Pepe taps up Sumare. The guy's a baller. A lot of people are throwing this name out there, Elliot. Thank you for your donation, mate. Appreciate that. A lot of people are throwing that name out there. He is a very good player, man. Very good player. Xhaka is 2-1 footed, says Nick. Exactly. To play in that position, you have to play with both feet. He can't do that. Which is why I want better. Just because he's played well for 4 or 5 games, don't mean all of a sudden it's a love fest. We've got to keep him. No, we ain't going to win a title with Granit Xhaka. Simple as that. And that's where we should be aiming for titles. I rate your channel, but why do you brown those Jose so much? Because that's who I think should have been manager. I think he's a fantastic manager. Same as Ancelotti. Rate Ancelotti. Both of them unbelievable managers to me. So yeah, I think they're quality, mate. If that means I'm brown nosing them, then apologies, man. But I ain't brown nosing anyone. I'm just saying and using them as examples. Let's read some more of these out. I'll judge Arteta at the end of the season. He's doing a good job at the moment, but time will tell. Exactly, Tim. Evening to you, buddy. And time will tell. Like I said, 22 games unbeaten. Part of that 22, we were all singing, "We've got our Arsenal back." Arsenal fans never learn. Let's just chill. Let's just see where it goes without jumping on reactionary bandwagons and telling other fans they're not proper fans if they're not on that bandwagon. At the end of the day, everyone's got their own opinion. Yeah, I've got my opinion on how I think we should win a title. Other fans have got opinions on how we should get in the top 4 or top 6 and baby steps. For me, go and do the right money on the right players and get rid of the crap that is at this club. And we can push on in the next 12 months towards a title. Whether we win one or not is a different story. But for me, I don't think that it's we have got major surgery to do. But I think if we get rid of the right players in this window, get rid of the right players in the summer window and go and recruit the right players in them windows, we can do it without spending a king's ransom. And we can go on and kick on towards a title challenge. I genuinely believe that. We need a couple of centre-backs. We need a proper midfielder. And I think we're good to maybe a right-back. I think that's doable. Maybe get rid of the likes of Kolasinac, Xhaka, maybe another left-back perhaps, but definitely 2 centre-backs. Definitely a right-back, get rid of Bellerin. Definitely a left-back, get rid of Kolasinac. Get rid of Granit Xhaka, go and buy someone else. Decore, someone like that. Get rid of Ozil, go and buy someone else. For me, you've then got the makings of a team that can challenge for a title, yeah, depending on who you bring in. But them players that I've just said that we should get rid of, they're the ones I would get rid of because they're the ones that have been here for years and years and years and have done nothing for years as well. So that's just my opinion on it. Are you confident going into the Palace game, says Matthew? Yes and no. Yes and no. It's an away game and we're not great in them, are we? Like I said, last time out, we celebrated a draw away to Bournemouth, mate. So I don't know. Yeah, plus, it's the Wilfred Zaha Cup final. He always turns up against us, doesn't he? The one thing I will say is their penalty taker, Milivojevic, is suspended for this game, I think. Or he's injured. I think, no, he is suspended. He got a red card against Derby. So he's out suspended. So that's a bit of a bonus because he's their captain. He's their talisman, other than Zaha. So I don't know. I suppose the closer towards the game, I'll probably get a bit more confident. It depends who's injured, who's not injured, who's coming back, who's not coming back. So when I see all of that, when I do my preview and that, then yeah, happy days. Do drive the likes up. I'm going to do 5 more minutes. I did say I was only going to do 17 minutes. We've done half an hour. On FIFA 20, I've swapped a 33-year-old Aubameyang for Werner and sold Bellerin to Real Madrid for 60 million. if only it was like FIFA DJ Fury. We'd be lucky to get half of that for Hector. Uno was not as bad as people say. They just didn't play for him. My thoughts entirely. I don't think Emery was that bad. Yes, he was bad, but he wasn't that bad. But that ship sailed now, man. But like I said, these players snaked him. They snaked Wenger towards the end. Although I was happy Wenger left, I was happy Emery left. They didn't bother stepping up for Freddie, which is why I am impressed with how the Arteta has come in. He said what he wants to do. He's been open and honest with stuff he's saying. And he gave them a rocket the other day at half time, and they actually responded. So yeah, that's an improvement. You can't even deny that. And then, listen, I didn't want him, you know that. But he got an improvement out of them. And that second half, we battered Leeds the same as they battered us in the first half. Yes, it's only Leeds, but they're a bloody good team. And if they do come up, I think they'll stay up. So yeah, to get a response is always a positive, isn't it? Let's do another few minutes. Ancelotti lost to Liverpool. So pretty much everyone, mate. Pretty much everyone's lost to Liverpool, which is why they're unbeaten. I know it was a cup game, but they're going to go unbeaten as well, won't they? Let's be real. I think Arteta will go the same way unless he does a clear out of the dead wood. Scouting won't always work. Shouting won't always work. Sorry, says John. Well, this is exactly the point. Right? I was on the phone to a mate of mine earlier, and I was talking about Arteta. I said, listen, like, at the end of the day, he's come in. We've got to accept it because he didn't want him in it either. I said, we've got to accept it now. So I like the fact that he's open and honest with what he's saying in press conferences. That is saying that we haven't had at this club for 30 years, since George Graham was here, when he used to come out and say it as it is. Every manager since then is just or just spoke in riddles like Emery did. Yeah, so I'm happy we've got a manager who comes out and says exactly what the fans want to hear. Now you've got to go and back that, right? And so far, I think he's doing all right. I ain't even lying. I think he's doing all right, Arteta. But it's now the consistency. It's all well and good doing it for 3 or 4 games. Now let's see if you can do that for 3 or 4 months. And then after that, kick on again and raise the bar even higher. And that's why I'm going to hold my shit together. And that's why I'm not going to jump on any bandwagon. I'm just going to go with watching the games, see what I think, give an honest assessment like I do every week. And if it's good, I'll praise him. If it's bad, I'll mug him off. Yeah, simple as that. And that's what pretty much every football fan should do, is give an honest opinion. I know people are biased and stuff like that, but I'm not. I say it as it is, and I always will do. If we've played well and Ozil's played well and been man of the match, fantastic. Yeah, same as Xhaka, the same as Kolasinac, Mustafi, players that I don't rate. If they play well, I say they play well. You know, the other week against Everton, I said Martinelli played crap. Everyone was crucifying me. I rate Martinelli. I rate him. He weren't all that against Everton. And that's what I always do. We need to be consistent between now and the end of the season. We do. What players would you like to see loaned out in January? Says Philip. Evening, Philip. Smith Rowe. I want him to go out on loan. Eddie Nketiah are out on loan. Mavropanos out on loan. Mustafi can be sold. Even Saka. Like, listen, I like Saka, but I'd consider loaning him, man. I'd consider loaning him. And I'd play Martinelli on that left side. We should give Mustafi a new deal. You're on a wind-up, you are, Corey. We can still get Champions League. You're definitely on a wind-up now. We can't get Champions League. We're about 8 points behind Chelsea, and we're 7 to 9 points, something like that. We ain't getting Champions League, mate. Sigurdsson is available. I'd take him. I've always rated him, man. Even when he played for the Scum, I thought he was a good player. Let's do 3 more comments. Do drive the likes up. 500 people, nor 470 people watching this live. Only 76 likes. Don't forget, social medias are in the description as well. Insta, Twitter, and Facebook. So fully go and support all of them for me as well. That would be sick. You don't have to do Twitter. I don't care about Twitter. But if you want to follow it, follow it. The other 2, especially Facebook and Insta, definitely. I would appreciate that. Lee Upperman-Carno or Koulibaly? Both. Just go and do them both, man. Get them both. Aubameyang for Isco. I love Isco, but I don't think I'd get him. I don't think I'd swap him for Aubameyang, to be honest. Marble Halls TV, evening to you, mate. Only a few points in mid-table. If United continue to be shit, they'll be in the relegation soon. Anyone who's not subscribed to Marble Halls, go and check his channel out. This is the thing, like that middle part of the table is a little bit congested, isn't it? But the problem is Chelsea have got a little gap on everyone. So to get in that top four is going to be difficult, man. I think we should sell Mavropanos' shit. Says Chris. Well, listen, he's done absolutely nothing to warrant all the praise he gets at this club by our fans, mate. So, yeah, I kind of agree. If we ain't going to sell him this window, go and loan him and bin him in the summer. Justin says no more FIFA 20 streams. My Wi-Fi is dead in Spain, mate. So when I get back, I'm going to sort out some fiber Wi-Fi because it ain't fiber. So I can't even stream it, mate, even if I wanted to. Ozil has 1 assist in 20 games, but it's supposed to be the assist king. He needs to go quickly, says Ben. Well, Kevin De Bruyne's the assist king. He's on 12 assists this season in the Premier League already, which is more assists in the Premier League than Mesut Ozil's had in the last 4 seasons. So per season, not combined, before some clever dick tells me it's not. But 12 assists and 7 goals. De Bruyne's created or scored or created or been involved in 20 goals this season for Man City. That, for me, is a proper number 10. And on that note, people, I am going to get myself out of here. I will be back at 9 o'clock this evening. Still ain't even got 100 likes on this video. Disgusting behaviour. You love playing that, man. But yeah, listen, I will be back at 9. We'll do another stream at 9 o'clock. Don't forget, if you haven't checked out my daily transfer update, go and check that out as well. And the social medias, especially Facebook and Insta, are in the description. Thanks for all the love in the chat. And I'll be back at 9 o'clock. Laters, peeps.